russosbrand.com, where the pros are the pros.
No yeet.
All right, Jeff, what do we have for Al? I know there's a lot going on.
I'm not judging you if you want to go to a party like that.
Yeah. What do we have for Al, Jeff?
Well, pop up this video first. It's I've separated this from our regular clips because this is newsworthy. Adam Copeland in AEW now did this spot at the pay-per-view, and he ended up revealing that he broke his tibia, fractured his tibia in this move.
So this is when you talk about the pay-per-view, you're just talking about a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, the most recent one, yeah.
Jeez. Ooh.
Yeah, Al, I saw this spot online, and I'm like, how do you not get hurt doing that?
Well, I'll tell you how you increase the odds of getting hurt, because you can see what he's doing. He's trying to protect himself. So he's putting his foot down to break his fall. And what he ended up doing, that's how he fractured his tibia. Look at that. That's how he fractured his tibia. He'd have been better off, quite honestly, to have literally put his, like you typically drop an elbow, and the vast majority of the impact is taken on your hip and your thigh. And that you what you're always trying to do when you're ever in whenever you literally take a fall of any sort, you're always trying to create as large a surface area as possible. That surface area, when you drop an elbow, is primarily your waist, your hip, and your thigh, and your calf and your foot. So that way there's no one area that takes 100% of the shock. But by putting his leg down like that to try to be almost like a shock absorber, it cracked his fibia. It got us to the point right now, and this is a topic we've brought up, but it's gotten us to where if someone has a cage match now, the objective of the cage match was to get out of it or climb over it. That was the objective. Now it is, who can do the biggest stunt off the top of the cage? And they're all constantly trying to do it, and thus increasing the odds. Now, let's get into the business side of this. I don't know what Adam Edge Copeland is getting paid, but I would imagine whatever it is pretty healthy. Okay. Number one. Number two, why did Tony Khan, let's not even get into that, but if you were a regular business person, why would you want to sign Adam Edge Copeland onto AEW and then pay him whatever it is you're paying him? Because you're making an investment that you're going to be able to put him in the ring in front of an audience on a regular basis, a consistent basis, to build him into a draw, to capitalize on what he has grown in WWE, to elevate your talent and product and draw money, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now that he has taken this risk by attempting to have a 5-star cage match, broke his fibia, he's going to be out for probably a minimum of 6 months, that he is, of course, going to be probably still being paid, and yet you, as the promoter, are not going to be able to put him in the ring and achieve the objectives of what you were putting that investment in him in the first place. That's why behavior such as this is dumb. Is because for a momentary reaction, you're willing to take a physical risk that could foobar an enormous amount of investment. Let's not even get into, I don't know what the period of time has been since Adam Edge Copeland has came from WWE, but let's not forget all of that time and effort we've put in to get him to this point, to where we thought he could draw more money than what we've invested in him. And that's all where? It's gone now, totally gone, because he's going to be gone for at least 6 months, to where he can't physically, perform, and therefore we're not going to get even a hope or a chance or a prayer of a return on our investment.
And here's the really sad thing to what Al just said. I swear to God, this is the most sad and unfortunate. That is not a thought in Tony Khan's head. What you just said is not, he has never considered one single time.
But the reason that it's not a thought in Tony Khan's head is it's no longer a thought and any of the talent within the wrestling business has had either.
Right, but he's paying them.
These talent,
he's paying them.
I understand, but these talent from top to bottom, and we've had this conversation in the past, they are no longer motivated by business, by being able to make a living performing. They are motivated by, hey, this will get me noticed. This will make me relevant. This will get me some acclaim, and this will get me a critical pat on the back, as opposed to, oh, crap. If I do this jump off the cage, guess where I've got to be tomorrow night? Back at TV. You understand? Because if I'm not back at TV, I'm not going to get paid. I'll tell you a little bit of a story, you know, that started all this bullshit. When Mick took the bump off the cage, first time anybody had ever done it, he was a physical wreck because we were traveling together. And they're telling Mick, you were there. You guys were telling Mick that he needed to be at TV the next day. And I'm like, Mick, you can't physically go in the ring and do anything. And we concocted whatever, I forget what it was we came up with, where I was recommending he do XYZ or whatever, to one, not bury the bump off the cage, and two, to where he physically could do it, to where it didn't put him at greater risk of injury. We were trying to come up with a way for him to be at TV the very next day and be able to physically function and be able to, you know, come off. Also keeping in mind not burying the bump he just took.
Right.
Because I think you guys wanted to put him in a match or something. And I'm like, there's no way.
Well, we probably had a match written having no idea what he was going to do the night before.
Correct. I'm just saying is we both are now thinking, oh God, how are we going to be able, how's he going to be able to pull this off? And there were ramifications, not just from a physical standpoint, from a financial standpoint, that if he didn't work, he didn't get paid.
Right.
So how can we get him in the ring and get him to go, you know, and get him to pass through and still be able to, you know, get a payday? When you get a guaranteed contract, or do you have, even if you have a downside contract, if I don't make it tomorrow, I'll make money. Again, remember, in the real wrestling business, we all eat together and we all starve together. So when, you know, Mick went off the cage, and if he really gets over by doing this and he starts drawing more people to the shows, well, then we all make more money, because me if I'm at the bottom and I'm only making $200 a night, Mick gets over and makes $1,000 a night. He's going to make $1,000 a night. I'm going to start making $300 or $400 a night, because there's more people in the building. Not now, not the way that it's the structure set up now.
Yeah.
Because now you make what you make. You know what I mean?
Hey Al, you got to alter that story, and nobody will know. Let's discuss it, because it'll be a better story. Alter that story.
You do realize we're on public.
No, I don't. Just between us. Alter that story. Say that's when in that car ride after the cage. Yeah, that's when you came up with Mr. Sacco. That'll be a much better story, bro. Much better, and nobody will know.
I came up with Mr. Sacco when we were at the building, and Mick came up to me and was like, I got to go do this surprise party for Vince to cheer him up. And I basically said, you know, do a sock puppet show for him and draw a little face on a sock, call it Sacco.
Al, I got to tell you something. I was not on location for the hospital scene because I was producing at the building. But they did come back and show me immediately when he brought out that sock puppet.
Right.
Al, I think that was my biggest pop of maybe my entire life.
Yeah, I knew the sock puppet would be, because it's ridiculous.
And you did. I mean, and here's the thing. I knew immediately. I mean, I got to give credit where credit is due. I found out immediately it was Al's idea. Nobody. I mean, I was like, bro, Al. The next day, Mick writes about this in his book. We had TV the next day, Al. Everyone in the crowd had a sock on their freaking hand. I ran back to the back to tell Mick, you are not going to believe. How much freaking money did you make? Are you getting a cut of that?
Oh, no.
That was brilliant. That was, because it was the way he came up from underneath.
That's why I told him. I said, you take it and put it up over just where they just see the sock, and then start talking to them.
That was
the sock puppet.
That was brilliant. Brilliant. I put you over enough. All right, what's next for Al, Jeff? I was gonna say, really quick. I swear to God, you know what that reminded me of? How Adam Copeland hurt himself like that. That was how Jim Cornette fell off the gimmick. He did the same exact thing. And I'm like, my God, bro, like
He put his legs like this.
Yes,
and blew out both of his knees. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it reminded me of. That's why when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, bro, you ain't walking for 6 months.
When he fell from the scaffold.
The scaffold. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Jeff.
One more note on that. Copeland did put out a video where he also said, I need to make better choices.
Oh, good for him. Maybe you got to learn the hard way. I hope you liked the last video, and remember, man, you can go right now if you've never been a Patreon subscriber. Go right now to patreon.com/Russo TWC and get a free week of Russo's brand on me.
What's up, brand? This is Jeff Lane inviting you to come hang out with me over on Twitch. I'm live several nights a week playing games, classic and new, currently going through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the new Contra game, and more. So check me out, Jeff Lane 22 on Twitch.
Pick up Mike Durbin's Conan action figure, bro. Look how beautiful this thing is. I freaking love the packaging, man. Look at this. MikeDurbin.com, guys. Help Mike out, man. This is a beautiful action figure, bro. Beautiful. MikeDurbin.com.